Hello. Before I begin, I would like to say that during this presentation there may be words that sound weird. This is because it's an American voice and they obviously pronounce things differently. If there is something that you haven't understood, please don't hesitate to ask me about it. May I ask you to keep any questions that you might want to ask until the end, for obvious reasons, and then wait 10 minutes for an answer. Ha ha. I've kept it fairly short because I know what it's like to sit in meetings all day and listen to people drone on, so you will be pleased to hear it'll last around 15 minutes. My name is Keith and I have motor neurone disease. I was diagnosed on the 10th of October 2002, aged just 39. Within 8 months I was in a wheelchair and had very little use of my arms. Gradually things got worse, losing what movement and strength I still had. I have always been a happy-go-lucky person, with a strange sense of humor, something which this illness cannot take from me. Losing my independence and to a certain extent my dignity really tested that. Although I had done hours of research on the internet preparing myself for everything that would happen to me, I have since discovered there is something that all the websites fail to mention that I could lose. That was my personality. As it became increasingly harder to talk, I could sense something was different, although not certain what. It was only after going to the hospice a few times that it dawned on me. I was unable to express myself. To people that didn't know me, I was just a person. It remained that way for a few months, getting worse as my voice deteriorated. By now I was barely able to make myself understood, and unable to use my PC at all. I had always been fairly fit before my illness, and was still playing football in July of 2002. So to find out that I would be unable to walk or use my arms was devastating. But other people can replace practically everything you lose, whether it be pushing you in a wheelchair, washing you, or fitting a rig to help you eat. Over the last 2 years I've found that out. But the one thing that nobody can give you back or help you with is your personality. Losing my voice is by far the worst part of the illness. What I discovered while I was unable to talk was that generally people tend to keep away. Without speech, any conversation would have to be one way. And unless you knew the person when they could talk, I guess that would be fairly difficult. You wouldn't know what they liked or disliked, enjoyed doing, or their views on anything. I can fully understand why people act this way and give you a wide berth, but I know how it can make you feel. Before I had this, I would go to the hospice, and although it was a change of scenery, would feel like I was in the audience at a theater, watching everything going on but not able to get involved. Since I have had this, a day at the hospice is totally different. I have had long chats with people that before only ever said hello, and been involved more. Even when this isn't switched on, people now talk to me, because I have had the opportunity to get to know them and let them see the real me. During the first few months of my illness, while trawling through endless pages about the disease, I noticed a company called Natural Point. They are American and supply alternative ways of using computers for the disabled. On losing the use of my hands, I found on their website a product that may be the solution to my problem. This being a module that attaches to your computer and allows you to operate the cursor with your head. All you need do is place a small dot on your head and you are ready to go. Too good to be true, I thought. I ordered it online. 5 days and 350 pounds later it arrived. It took just 10 minutes to install and I was using my computer once again, this time with no effort at all. I now needed to find a way to communicate with sound, and not just at my desk. I had been given names of companies that specialize in communication aids, one of them being Liberator. Looking at their website and talking to Lisa about it, I downloaded a 30-day trial copy of Vocab Plus. The problem is the trial version doesn't really work properly. But out of all the others, it still seemed the best option. Initially I had one or two problems during the setup, but after a few emails either way everything was fine. I am now able to talk again, albeit a lot slower and in an American accent. So you know how I'm operating the computer. I'll quickly tell you. The dot using the panel along the top enables me to right or left click, drag and drop like any computer mouse. To activate a button I hold the cursor on it for 1.5 seconds, but that can be adjusted, as can the movement required to move the cursor. This is supplied by a company called KeyTools. The product is called SmartNav AT, which stands for Assisted Technology, although there are different versions depending on your level of disability. I like to show you the software program and urge you where possible to suggest it to others that are unable to speak. I would first of all point out that I am not on any sort of commission, just delighted that I've found a product which allows me to make myself understood. And if others can benefit from my showing you, then I'm more than happy. Can I add that although I am recommending this program, I'm not here to criticize all the others on the market. On the main page you can see now, you have at the top 32 of the most used words. Underneath those you have the alphabet, and the bottom row are program buttons. You will also see little red and gray buttons. These are interjection and fast phrase buttons. Here you have quick preset words or sentences enabling you to, for example, say hello while not having to stop what you are doing. As you can see, all the words are shaded. The darker the square, the more common the word is. Using the dictionary is simple. Type in your first letter. You then see a page of supposedly popular words beginning with that letter. If the required word isn't available, there is a button marked spell. Hit that and type in further letters, spelling out the entire word if necessary. For example, to obtain wound, first type W, then spell W, then O, where you will see it in the bottom right. Wound. The grammar option is useful. By having this page liberator, have made thousands of extra words available without having dozens of additional pages to look through. That is the main screen. If you then hit the blue phrase button, there are empty buttons where you can add your own sentences. These can be whatever size you like. It has capacity for over 500 phrases. As you can see, I have lots already input. Really useful for everyday sayings. These can be changed as you so desire. Not only the writing, but media files can be added. I have one to call people if I'm in a room alone. What do you think of it? To store a phrase, simply type your sentence, then go to the page where you want it to go. Hold the cursor on the Add Phrase button until it turns green. Then move it to the desired column where it will copy. Along the bottom are buttons such as punctuation, date and time, and numbers, all fairly useful. Then there is the toolbox. From here you are able to change anything. And if you are connected to the internet, go online or email. Words can be added to the system, which again is very quick and easy to do. There are 8,500 already stored on the program. With this updated program you can put the dictionary on automatic add words. So now every time I type something that isn't on here, it's stored. Although I mentioned earlier that there was a problem with pronunciation, in the Tools menu there is an autocorrections page. This enables you to type the word and so it is spoken phonetically, yet still not always sounding perfect. It can determine how to pronounce certain words. Listen, that is for you to present. I will buy the present. There the same word was used but in a different context. There is a choice of voices, male, female, and children's, although they are all American. With these you have the facility to alter the speed and pitch. This is a voice that has only recently become available. The previous voice I had was good but not as clear and more monotone. There are 4 new ones available, although you can only have one per program. There is male and female, English and American. Unfortunately, the American ones are better quality. It's an American company that supply them, and I think they just want us to have their accent. It is the facility for password protection. You can't put this on the whole system or individual pages. You are also able to play music or video clips, although exactly how much depends on the computer hard drive. This is the main communication software package that Liberator supply, although there are others that could be used in conjunction with it. If you did purchase any of these, they would be accessible from the start page you can now see. A page can have anything from 1 to 128 buttons. The whole system is really flexible. Buttons can be moved, have the color or text changed, and even enlarged for visually impaired people. The software program and the SmartNav can both be used individually. I obviously need to have both because I am unable to use my hands or talk, but both pieces of equipment are good. They can be used on most computers or laptops. All they need is a USB port and a graphics sound card, which are standard on most. I've shown you briefly what it can do, and if anyone has any questions on something I've said or anything else, I'd be happy to answer them. Just email me on k.ralpharnold@internet.com. Thank you for listening to me, and I've only got one other thing to say.
That's it, I'm out of here.